Hello guys, I'm Shadowbuns Plays and I'll be ranking all the Plants vs. Zombies plants in at least the first game. First of all, we have Pea Shooter. He's an alright plant. He does mediocre damage at a mediocre speed. Enough said. Sunflower, probably the best or easiest, or at least the easiest way to get sun in the game. He can be used in practically every single world, even in the dark level worlds. He will practically follow you everywhere. A tier, or at least low A tier. Cherry Bomb. He can blow up a 3x3 lane, which is good, but he has a very slow recharge rate, which is normal for most one-shots. My main issue with him, though, is mostly that he just is kind of pricey. He has a long recharge rate, and sometimes he doesn't even do that much. Sometimes, like playing like a bowling game, he only takes out like 3 zombies. Sometimes it's inconsistent when how many zombies he will explode. Oh yeah, I have to mention, this is an unscripted video, so I might mess up a little bit sometimes. Sorry. Alright. Potato Mine. The Potato Mine is alright. He's generally not a bad plant by any means, but my main issue with him is his arming time, which is really all of the issues I have with him. He is probably the most reliable one shot, as he's only costs 25 sun, which is insanely cheap, being as much as the rocks inside my pocket. And just plant him like maybe 4 tiles away from a slow zombie, and he'll arm up, and then goodbye zombie. I'll give him a nice A tier. Walnut. Welcome to our first S tier. He has a busted amount of health, being the second best defensive plant. That word will go to someone else later on in the video. But basically, he gives you a nice barricade to like keep your sunflowers, or like just like a whole entire area barricaded off from like any normal zombies. Hell, even anything like that isn't like a gargantuar, they'll at least take a little bit to eat this walnut. And he also costs 50 sun, which is only just 2 sunflower charges. And also the sky. Chomper. I hate the Chomper. His design is cool, although my main issue with him is he usually aims for the weaker zombies, like just the brown coat zombies, which are the basic zombies. And when he does get them, you might think, oh, he must devour them and digest them in like 4 seconds. Nope. It's 42 seconds. When time is precious in this game, Chomper feels like a completely useless plant at most times. Because, like, what the hell are you going to do with him? Throw him in the garbage? Good. Good F tier. Snow Pea. Definitely better than the Pea Shooter. He slows down zombies no matter what. And he deals the same amount of damage as a Pea Shooter, just with the frozen effect. So basically just Photoshop some icicles onto the Pea Shooter. And that's how you get frozen Pea Shooter. C tier. Repeater. The better Pea Shooter. He shoots 2 pea shoot. He shoots 2 peas at the enemy, which basically is quite good, and it can take down a buckethead zombie, which normally would be the hardest threat to a regular pea shooter. and normally only taken down by a snow pea shooter, and even then, not very well. So, and also, he is a little bit pricey with the price cost of 200 sun, which makes him quite pricey. Although, once you get him on the field, he is really good. And he also has an upgrade plant, which is even better. So, I place him in a definitive B tier. Puffshroom. Puffshroom is really good. He is the same price as dirt, which is basically nothing. Yeah, he's 0 sun, which basically, even if he had like if he had a long recharge time, well, then that would be a little bit more different. But like, he has like a mediocre recharge time, so something like the sunflower. So imagine the sunflower's recharge rate with a free plant that does about the same damage as a pea shooter. That's what makes the Puffshroom so great. It's like a free pea shooter. The Sunshroom. Basically, in the middle, whatever you want to call it, an okay sun plant. Overall, I would never use it over the sunflower, since like the sunflower overshadows him in every single light, basically. And if you say like, oh, but like he grows, cool. He might gain some more sun, but zombies will probably devour him before that happens. I forgot what this guy is. I'll just call him Puffer. Puffer is a very solid plant, being only 75 sun and having a fast recharge time. Also being able to kill screen door zombies very easily, because he has like, the perfume gas things that shoot from whatever the top of his head is, basically go through the door and kill the zombie, which is really helpful. And placing a wall of these guys, which isn't that hard at all, it's only 75 sun, is very effective, just as long as you have something to protect them. Overall, I would have to place them in top, actually, middle A tier. Gravedigger. Not Gravedigger. Gravebuster. Gravebuster is overall the type of plant that, is like... When am I going to use this guy? Since, like, you're probably never, ever going to use this guy outside of maybe, like, one time. And even then, the one time you use him, you'll probably realize his usage is practically worthless. Being 75 sun, the same amount of sun cost as, that A tier guy that I just did, Puffer, whatever his name is. This guy nears nowhere next to this guy who can actually kill zombies. This guy only gets rid of something that is basically just like a mild irritants, And honestly, in the second game, which I've tried, I haven't really beat it yet, he's a lot more useful because he's free, and also graves are a lot more of an issue. But in this game, not as much. D tier. Scaredy Shroom. I'm not sure if this is a controversial opinion, but I don't really like Scaredy Shroom. Yeah, he has a long range, and yeah, he's really cheap, being only 25 sun, and he has a mediocre recharge rate. Although, what really kills him for me is, the scaredy part. He hides like a coward any second the zombie comes near, which is probably a normal response, although this is a game, not real life. Hypnoshroom. Hypnoshroom, when I was younger, I used to really like this guy. Now he's okay. I wouldn't say he's the best random plant in game that's like a one-use guy. Although I wouldn't say he's the worst at all. We're going to get to that guy very soon. Very soon. Actually, I think we were going. Never mind. He is overall, like, okay. If he could hypnotize Gargantuars, even though they don't appear as much, at least in the first adventure, then I would care about him a little bit more. But him not being able to do that is kind of annoying. And also the fact that he has a long recharge time. And honestly, why hypnotize them when you could just kill them outright? The snow shroom. Or the ice shroom. I love this design and the usage of this plant. Imagine a combination of this snow pea snow effect, and the cherry bombs effect combined. Like, completely combined. Well, then you'd get Snow Shroom, except he doesn't kill. Because what he does is, first of all, when he spawns in, he takes like 2 seconds, and then he freezes everything on the map. Just the whole entire screen. Everything freezes, or at least all the zombies freeze. And then after maybe 6 seconds, the zombies unfreeze, although are still in like a frozen state where they move extremely slow, like when a frozen pea shooter shoots them. Which is very useful at most times. Suppose like you're being heavily attacked by zombies and you don't know what to do. Well, this plant will come in use. The Doom Shroom. Doom Shroom is basically a better cherry bomb. Basically, forgot to rank this guy. The Doom Shroom is basically a better cherry bomb. Well, cherry bomb, when you spawn him in, usually the top is the best part to kill, because like usually that's where most zombies are, and like shooting him in front, where like it feels like there's like a wall of zombies, where like there's like multiple zombies stacked on top of each other. Well, then he'll only be able to take out one row of a 3x3, while the Doom Shroom can take out that whole entire wall of zombies, no matter what. His only downside really is his recharge time, and he leaves behind a crater afterwards, which basically means you can't plant anything there afterwards. So, like, you usually want to use him, like, on the far fields, like, far away from where you're planting most of your things. Overall, A tier. Lily Pad. I don't know, C tier. I wouldn't say it's generally bad, although it's basically a support plant, really. I guess he's better than the pot plant because he looks cooler and he can also evolve into a cat, but that's all I can say about him. Squash. That's all I really have to say about him. He squashes things and then he dies. B tier plant. Top B tier. Three-peater. Three-peater is the definition of overpriced. If he was like 250 or something, I think he'd probably be in the same exact rank as like maybe Repeater. Although he's 325. Why 25? You could just made him 300 if you really were that desperate. And honestly, that lowers him back down to C. Because why would you use that when you have the Repeater, which basically is faster, better, and stronger. He does attack in a 3 column though, which basically means that like 3 rows are basically shot with 3 regular peas. Now, if this guy was a frozen version, well then God knows what will happen. But that would probably be terrifying. This guy. I keep on forgetting names. I'm tired. Tangle. This guy basically is the potato mine of the pool levels. He is basically the same exact price. he is very useful in like earlier levels when you can't really really start as quickly and quicken up your pace. Although once you've gone past the pool level, hell, even in the fog level, he's not as useful because like you probably learned that hey, I could probably just plant a lily pad out there and just use the weapons I already have to beat that scuba diving zombie that's just crawling around there instead of using this plant that takes up 25% of my sun and takes up a seed slot, which is why I'll confidently place him in C tier. Jalapeno is overall a plant that I'll probably use like if I feel like, oh no, I feel like I'm in danger, because he can take out a whole entire row of zombies no matter what. There's a whole entire row of zombies that's basically the entire horde. Goodbye. Just hope that I have jalapeno, which just makes him basically the better version of cherry bomb, because he can go up here. I wanted to put him in S tier, although these guys are the only ones that are currently inhabiting it right now. Spikeweed. Spikeweed is okay. Like, if you have something that can damage those zombonis, well, Spikeweed's kind of useless. Like, he can deal some minor damage to zombies. Cool. He dies as soon as he touches a zomboni, although also kills the zomboni. That's really all I can give him. He looks cool. B tier. Torchwood. Torchwood powers up all your pea shooters except Ice Pea Shooter, which basically turns their cool ice peas into regular normal ice peas, which kind of sucks. But use this guy with the repeater and he's a deadly combo. And just pair him up with this guy over here, and you're basically raining death on one row. Although his only downside is that he can only be used with pea shooters. Can't be used with like pulse. Can't be used with really anything else. Hell, even he can't be used with cactus. So overall, B tier, middle B tier. Tall Nut. He wants to be the cooler sibling, although really, he won't ever. All his uses is blocking dolphin zombies and pogo zombies sometimes, as well as balloon zombies. That's it. And I haven't seen a pogo zombie more than twice in the first adventure. Not sure. I haven't been the second adventure yet. So maybe this guy can prove his worth in second adventure, but overall, he's a more expensive version of Walnut that honestly, meh. I'll place him in low weight. I'll place him above the Sunflower, although honestly, I would never use him above anything than maybe being forced to. Oh. It's Sea Shroom. This guy wants to be Puff Shroom and can't be. Unlike Puff Shroom, he's basically everything Puff Shroom is, except reliable. Yes, he is free. Yes, he is easily replaceable. No, he doesn't have a fast recharge time, which is basically what you need for a free plant. Imagine if Puff Shroom had the same exact recharge time as Cherry Bomb. That's basically this guy. Overall, D tier. And if you were really that desperate, you could just use some other plant. Lantern. Alright. Lantern is one of two plants that gets absolutely beaten by another plant, and always his purpose is to light up an area in the fog area, which is a cool idea on paper, but the plant I'm going to be talking about soon completely gets rid of all the fog on the area, while Plantern can only get one side. So there's there's a pool in the middle, there are two sides, and Plantern can only light up one side. Then he has to get the other. And he has no other use than that. Cool. He's also very forgettable. He's top F tier. Oh, my least favorite plant in the game. Cactus. What a cool designed plant. What does he do? He can kill. He's a rich pea shooter that can extend a little bit to defeat one type of zombie that doesn't appear very frequently. That can be defeated very easily by other plants. Way better. This guy, basically, he's a expensive version of the pea shooter. That's all I can say about him. His only use is that he can extend and shoot a balloon zombie. That's it. He's only useful for one level. One. Which is the level after you unlock him. Because after you unlock him, you get this guy. Wanna know what this guy does? First of all, he can remove all the fog on the screen. Just annihilate it. Which basically kills the entire purpose of Plantern. And you might be like, well, how much does he cost? Well, 100. But once you get 100, he is a very quick recharge time. So suppose a balloon zombie comes up on your base. Well, guess what? Just put one of these guys down, and he gets rid of the entire purpose of the cactus. Since just place him down, and the balloon zombie's gone forever. He doesn't even put him on the other side of the map. He just blows him away. Just gone. Whoosh. With a quick recharge time and an easy price, he basically eliminates these two effortlessly. I would put him in S, although he doesn't really deserve that. There are some plants that I just don't like, and this is one of them, the split pea. He only has one purpose, and that's why I don't like. Only one purpose. To kill one type of zombie, which is the same exact purpose as this guy. Basically, he has two heads. One is a repeater and one is a pea shooter. He's only used in really fog, and if you're going to do the first adventure. And he's only used to defeat the miner zombie, which he's really good at since no one else can really do it. Unless you plant potato mines at the back, that's really all you can do. So yeah, that is the only usage he has. He has a repeater on his back, although it's on his back, so that repeater will only be shooting miner zombies. Yeah. Starfruit. Starfruit is meh. In rows, this guy can deal massive amount of damages. Although, if you just have one starfruit in an area, you're screwed. It honestly depends, which is why I'll put him in C tier, since if you have a lot of him, he's S tier. If you have one of him, he's F tier. No, not F tier, D tier. But you know what I mean. All hail the Pumpkin King. This guy is definitely the best defense plant. Why? You see that poor helpless pea shooter that will probably be eaten up by that zombie, that's your only lasting defense? Well, plant a pumpkin on top of him, and he basically has a mini walnut on him. You can just put him on the pea shooter. So imagine putting a walnut suit on a pea shooter while still having that defense. That's what makes Pumpkin so good. So basically, like, you want to defend Chomper. He has like one of the best combos with Chomper, where basically he can just defend Chomper while he digests. Although I don't think he can handle 42 seconds of digestion. But yeah, he's basically like a really good defense plant, which is why he gets the #1 defense plant. Magnet Shroom. Man, I kind of feel depressed about what this guy becomes afterwards. But Magnet Shroom steals all metal. So that bucket zombie, well, now it's just a brown coat zombie. And that miner zombie, well, now he's just a regular ass zombie. Nothing he can do about it. He just stole his pickaxe. And also his helmet sometimes. Although afterwards he recharges for 21 seconds. Still not as long as Chomper. And overall, he's a really good plant. And a great support. B tier. Cabbage Pole. Very low C tier. He's like the pea shooter of the rooftop levels. What I don't like about him is, one, he is kind of slow. He chucks one and then he like pulls it back, chucks one, and it kind of just doesn't feel good. Like, you know, like sometimes it delays the throwing it. It delays it, while the pea shooter, it just shoots. Although I did notice that the cabbage pole is a little bit faster. And also does a little bit more damage. Oh wait, no, not faster. It just does more damage. As like in 2 shots, it can remove a zombie's arm, which basically means it's going to die next hit. Place this guy lower than the lily pad. He's practically the same use, except he doesn't have a cool evolution. Colonel Polt. Colonel Polt is a good support and nothing else. He can put butter on people, has a 25% chance of doing it. So every 4 times he shoots the butter, there's probably a good chance that he's going to throw a piece of every 3 times he throws. God damn it. You know, this is why I don't like doing non-scripted videos. I'll probably turn this unlisted now. But every 4 times he uses a corn, which is very weak, and I think is weaker than the pea shooter's peas, well then, basically, he has a good chance of throwing a piece of butter, which will basically stun the enemy. This guy's also pretty cheap, being only 100. So making a wall, this guy is very easy. And on the rooftop levels, especially on the Gargantuar levels, which are near the end, he's very useful in buttering the enemy so that, you know, you can get more hits on them so that they die. Coffee Bean. Mid B tier. He is a one-use plant which awakes any nighttime zombie. So, you know, these guys, they can be really useful at nighttime, although they are practically useless in daytime since they sleep. Well, guess what? This guy can wake them up in a quick snap. I don't think. Alright, that's better. And honestly, he's just a very useful plant. And honestly, he allows you to use better plants than him, like Doom Shroom, Spore Shroom, and Ice Shroom. Next up, Onion, or Garlic. Sorry. Garlic is a defensive plant for some reason. And what he does is basically he makes it so that once a zombie tries eating him, they get disgusted by the taste of garlic and go to another lane. This can be used to synergize certain strategies like the Gloom Shroom strategy or the Spike Rock strategy, Although other than that, he's kind of just looks funny and also has a wife. So, low B tier. Umbrella. Or Umbrella, whatever. She has the most useful thing ever. She stops bungee cord zombies. A grace from the heavens. You know those annoying things that are on the roof levels where they basically steal your plants? Well, fear no more. This guy blocks like a whole entire area and just completely denies the bungee cord zombie of his greatness. Although she can't stop the bungee cord zombie from putting a zombie down. That's not possible. So, a C tier. High C tier, actually. Now, Marigold. Very low D tier. It produces coins. Incredible. Honestly, it's only really useful if you want to grind coins, which is fine, but like I'm more into Plants vs. Zombies with action. And honestly, the Marigold does nothing but basically just produce coins. The Melon Pult, S tier. The Melon Pult, imagine the combination of heavy damage of the repeater and the splash damage, kind of the Spore Shroom. Well, then you have this guy. He does incredible damage because in just 2 shots, he can take off a brown coat zombie's arm, which basically means that he's half dead. So just 1 more shot and he's dead as hell. And he can just effortlessly take out a buckethead zombie, which would normally be like your biggest threat early game. No longer. Now we go on to Dave's Yippity Yappity Whatever shop. That's full of plant upgrades, including some that aren't upgrades, although most of them are upgrades. First of all, S tier. In combination with things like Torchwood, this guy is busted. He can absolutely shred through zombies. And the only downside is that he's an upgrade plant, which basically means that you have to upgrade him, which takes up 2 seed plants slots. Which is kind of annoying, although he more than makes up for it. A tier. This guy, he produces sun. A lot more sun. And that's really it. Better than the regular sunflower. That's all I have to say. The Gloom Shroom. He has a full-on radius. So that means, like, he has, like, a whole entire circle around him. So that means that, like, even if a zombie's above him, below him, right next to him, right behind him, he can just attack them no matter what. Which is something that most plants don't have. Not really any plant can attack from above. Well, they can throw from above, but not directly from above. Which makes him a lot more useful. I would have to place him in A tier. Cattail. Cool upgrade, but my main complaint is that it can only be used in water. Which basically makes him so that he's a cool cactus. He's a cool cactus since he is able to pop balloons. Although that probably doesn't matter since you unlock him after Adventure 1. Which means that, guess what? You're not going to use him in Adventure 1. Which means that you've already unlocked Blubber. Which means that you will have to go through Adventure 2 using this guy or Blubber. Which do you choose? I personally choose Blubber. Next up, Spike Rock. Spike Rock's genuinely just better. Objectively better in all ways. To you know what? I'm moving Gloom Shroom up, and you know what? Just for shits and giggles, I'm moving Blubber up as well. But yeah, Spike Rock's just a genuinely better version of Spike Rock. He can take multiple Zombonis. He deals a lot more damage to zombies that are on him, probably killing a brown coat zombie or at least heavily injuring it. And it's generally just a better plant. This is what I was saying when Magnet Shroom had a depressing future. What the hell is this plant? If you're wondering, what is it? He's just a cool looking plant. Well, here's the thing. He is useless. I'm just telling you. What do you think he does? He's best friends with Marigold. Can you guess? He picks up coins, which on mobile is practically useless. Your fingers probably move faster than he can grab the coins itself. And basically, that's all he does. Now, what's quote-unquote a special abilities is that he can be available on daytime without the coffee bean. How is that a power-up? That is just a regular plant. And also, I would have been more happy if they made Magnet Shroom, a sun plant as well, although not everything can be perfect. So yeah, Golden Magnet is awful. All he does is attract some coins, and that's it. If you use him, you probably only use him because he looks cool. And I'm not lying, he does look cool. Although, that's all he has on him. He looks cool. Imitator. This, plant war veteran, at least that's what it says in his plantology thing or whatever, basically can imitate any of these plants on here, except for upgrade plants. So you see this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy? Well, all of them he can't imitate. Why? I guess the Plants vs. Zombies devs didn't want him to. Which is okay. But that lowers him down from a mediocre B to C. Corn cannon or corn cob, whatever. He is a solid low S. You can control where he shoots, unlike the brainless people like this guy, where he basically shoots. Hey, I want to do this one. Okay. Well, Corn Cob can choose his location, or by your command at the very least. Basically, I want to go that area. Okay. I don't want to go that area. Okay. Basically that. And he's basically a mini Doom Shroom. Actually, no, not mini. Like, a giant Doom Shroom. Wintermelon. I don't have to explain this, do I? Imagine the insane damage of the repeater, the insane freezing capabilities of the Ice Shroom, and Frozen Pea Shooter, and the multi-hit of the Spore Shroom. What do you get? An absolutely busted plant. He is, I'm not exaggerating, the best plant in the game. It sucks that I kind of get him at the end and you have to use him in, Adventure 2, although this is probably the best plant in the game, in my opinion. Now, I'd like to hear some of my friends' opinions on this, since this is an unlisted video, Or if some person stumbles upon it. What's your opinion on this tier list? Do you think it's good? Bad? mediocre or terrible. Anyways, see ya.